Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorseys.
Hey, it's Dim Darn Dorseys.
Who is it?
Dim Darn Dorseys.
All right, I can roll with that.
You a little off, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. I was waiting on you to come through.
All right.
This is Dr. Jatan and
Floyd Dorsey the fourth.
And we are here for another episode.
Episode
of Date with the Dorseys. He's excited, y'all. So,
very.
We just cannot wait to get into this topic. And clearly, Mr. Dorsey is overly excited. So we should just jump right on in, right?
I'm always passionate passionate about the crashing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, crashing by interrupting you is what I.
Yes, you have successfully done that thus far. So since you rhyming and carrying on, we might as well share what the topic is, and that is Feenin for your dreaming.
Ooh, Feenin for dreaming. Okay.
But I have to throw out the fact that every time I say that title, I think about Jodeci. You got me fiending. And that's truly what you all are doing, fiending for the dreaming.
Well,
Did I say it right? Fiending for the dreaming, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
so y'all probably wondering, like, what the heck are y'all talking about? Can you get to it already? Well,
please.
Sure, we can. And when we talk about fiending for the dreaming, I'm going to start with this overview, not a long thing, but we're going to unpack it after that. You know how we do. If you are not a first-time listener, you already know how this goes. So, I had to explain it for those people that are newbies. Nevertheless, when you are fiending for your dreaming, the thing is, you have this dream, right? You have this vision. Congrats on that, by the way. However, you're afraid to and never do take the action necessary to make that dream a reality.
Boom.
Got it.
Afraid to move past it.
Afraid to move past it.
Fear may be one of the things that's keeping people.
Absolutely. It is definitely one of the things that is keeping people.
Yeah. But one of the things that we find is that there is so much comfort, so much joy, and so much security in the fact that it's my dream, I can own it, and I can just sit there and dream it all day long, all day and night until I'm blue in the face. And it feels good, right? It feels good. So why should I do anything different than keep fiending for my dreaming?
Well, and it's a couple sides to that, because you mentioned a couple things. You mentioned comfort and the feel good that stood out to me, right? And the comfort could come either way or go either way, because it could be comfortable for you to continue to fiend for the dream because you are, to your point, afraid to make the action. So it's comfortable to continue to think about it because that's what you've always done. That's your habit. That's what you know. That's my dog right there, right?
That's it.
We think all day long, but really and truly, But in actuality, it's really not comfortable because you're not moving. You're still thinking about this thing that you wish you had. So how comfortable can that be? Like, at some point, you have to say, this is no longer fun.
But but in my dreams, that I fiend that I be dreaming.
But you
I feel like I'm moving.
But you gotta wake up.
Oh, so do I really have to wake up?
You should, yeah.
Okay.
And then the feel good part, again, it truly depends, of course, on who we're talking about. And I know we have, various listeners with various personalities and go-getter type attitudes, or maybe vice versa. You may need the motivation, right? But when we say it feels good, it may not necessarily feel good for a person that is a go-getter to continue to dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, on our topic today is for those mostly who are stuck in the state of dreaming.
Nice. So on those two things you touched on, and I'll go in reverse. The feel good. It actually does feel good because in a dream, Because when you think about taking action, when you actually take action, moving from a position where you're in, where you're sitting still, and then getting up, taking a step, that requires muscle movement, especially if I've been sitting dormant for a while. Those muscles, those things could be sore after a while. It could be rusty. I may not move as I may not move as fluent as I would in my dream to do it. I might have to stretch outside of myself to reach out to other people, other resources, and do things that's pulling me from that comfort, that feel good. So overcoming that, I would say, if I'm in that dormant state and I'm just stuck in my dreams, is think about how much more fulfilled. If the dream is that great, the dream feels that good, just imagine while you're dreaming how much more gratification and joy you're going to feel when you actually manifest, when you actually take on the actions and succeed and manifest and bring that dream into reality. Now, if that isn't enough to get you fired up, then I would say, well, how great is that dream that you're really holding on to? Because if the manifestation should even be, I would say, 2 times as heightened as just the idea, the thought of it that's in your mind.
Yeah, and believe it or not, like at some point, you're gonna have to wake up. Yeah. And I don't know about.
Don't wake me.
I mean, and it may not be that someone else is waking you, right? It just may be you've reached the end of that dream and you regain consciousness, if we consider dreaming to be unconscious, right? But I don't know about you guys that are listening and gals, but when I awake from a dream, it's very seldom that I truly remember what I dreamt about. So when we're talking about feeding for that dream, and it's like a temporary imaginative state.
It is. It's temporary. Because when you wake up, now you only remembering that, oh man, that dream felt good.
It felt good. Yes, back to that feel good. So now I just want to sleep so I can get back to that dream.
That's it. But case in point, and we'll get to fear. As I said, I'll go in reverse. I'll get to fear in a second. But just to put this in a real life scenario. So I had a friend, real good friend, and they had this idea, this dream that they just wanted to buy a house. First time home buyer, and this was some years ago. And they, for years and years and years, they just talked about how joyous and how great it's going to be to buy a house. And I like speaking those things, right? I like the fact that you had a vision. This person had a vision. They were speaking into it. But they were stuck at that point. Like, I would raise questions like, well, what's holding you back? What's stopping you? Why don't you just go do it? And it would be things like, yeah, I am sometimes, or I'm going to be blessed, or it would be something to that nature that, oh, God's going to send it, or all those types of things to make them feel comfortable and feel good about staying where they are, as if something outside of themselves had to occur to invoke something inside of them to take action. And so they went on and on. Again, this happened for years. And it got to the point where I really had to just say, stop. Like, really, what's truly stopping you? You have everything you need to go buy the house. You have the credit, you have the capital, you have all the C's, right, that relates to the credit worthiness of a particular person that's looking to purchase. So I really didn't understand what was the thing that was holding them back. And it truly was the fear of, well, what if I don't know something? All right, you have plenty of people around, plenty of resources around to help you know what you don't know. So we start tackling all of those rebuttals to their reason for not taking action. And all of a sudden, it happened. They went out, went through the process, and purchased their house. And at that point, to them, that's why I said earlier that it's probably 2 times, if not more gratifying to manifest that dream as it is to just stay in that dream state. But they actually did it. Actually got the house, is in love with it. I mean, you couldn't tell them anything. And that high, that feeling, I say high, that dopamine, that gratification.
Well, we said Feenin, so.
Yeah, that high. That high has been sustaining for a while since they purchased the house. And while that dream, as we mentioned, was just an in and out, you forget, you go back into it, all of that, they really did manifest. And it was just such an amazing celebratory moment to share with them at the point of purchasing. But I say that to say, don't let the fear of what you don't know or the challenges to come prevent you from waking up and acting on that dream.
The end. That's the end of this episode.
I rest my case. So hopefully I convinced you. Now I need 20 people right now to I'll pass the plate. That's
Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and do both. So all of that just made me think of a different angle to take this. And it may be a slight derail, but it's going to take us back on track. Because you made me think about how you really need the motivation, the mindset even to know and to trust that you can take the action to get to that dream so that you can grow beyond the fiending stages of the dream. And it reminded me of a video I saw not too long ago, actually. And the person that was doing the video likened this into parenting. And follow me.
I'm walking with you.
Walk with me. So when you think about parenting, as a parent with your child, you have to encourage them to make the bed. You have to tell them to wash the dishes. You have to, remind them to clean their room, right?
I'm still walking with you. Oh, yeah. That was some time. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Go ahead.
So just recall those things, right? Or even as parents that are listening, these are things that you have to tell your children all the time. It's not all the time that they are going to initiate the doing of those things, even though they know that it needs to be done. And then so life goes on. They turn 18, but nobody really tells them, or even us at 18, right, that now you technically have to parent yourself. So the cleaning of the room becomes your task that you have to motivate, encourage, and push yourself to do, because it's a to-do as an adult, right? Mm-hmm. So that room cleaning then becomes a bigger goal, building your career, starting a business. And these are, again, things that you're now having to parent yourself into doing. You have to encourage yourself to do it, remind yourself to do it. You don't have mom and dad to come and say, hey, Dr. J, you got this business over here that you've been dreaming about, that you wanted. You need to get in the room, baby. Get at that desk and work on your business. No, I have to do that for myself, right? And the thing that we are challenged with at that point is the fact that we don't realize that no one is coming. No one is coming to tell us to go do that thing. It's all up to us, and we have to now parent ourselves towards achieving and taking action necessary to get past the fitting for this dreaming.
That's it. So what I heard you say, very profoundly, right, is that when I was a child or in a state where I was most vulnerable or where I was in more need of assistance, I had outside influences coming from the outside pouring into me to give me something that I needed to get me going. After a certain point, that outside need or outside influence began to wane as I began to build something up on the inside, where then I did have the ownership, accountability, and should have the fortitude to act on those things myself. Yeah. So at some point, those things are off. Right? So sometimes, even, as we look at us, different people in life, they're at a point, maybe not being the child in your scenario that you gave, but maybe they are not as developed and doing their business or doing something else. So it may take those outside resources or influences to get you going. But at some point, right? At some point, those things are off, and it's truly up to you to take action, to own it, and be accountable. Yeah, and move
definitely.
on.
And then when you think about the parenting stage of it, like when you are a child, it's not just influence. There's going to be some repercussions, right, if you don't do that thing.
That's it.
So there's a few slight differences because now as an adult, the punishment, so to say, is not from your parent, but it could be the fact that now you're broke or now
it's gonna be life.
It's going to be real life stuff.
Life is going to teach you.
Right. So though we are adults, you still have that necessity and that responsibility to parent yourself towards accomplishing those things that you desire.
Right. So you might not necessarily have anyone teaching you. As an adult, it would be on you to take action, to extend, to reach out and request those resources or those things that you need to maybe help you along the way.
Right.
But it's truly on you.
Absolutely.
So some people will request, like say, as an adult, I'm a baby, right, in business. So I may hire a business coach that's going to tell me, do this, do this, do this, and do this. And for me, if I don't do it, then the consequences are I stay where I am, even though I may be paying a coach to do it. That's painful, right? And I'm not really taking and making the strides or the progression that I need to or should be making through this particular relationship or endeavor for achieving my goals. However,
Or you can hire someone to do it for you, right?
That's it.
Because you have to understand when you get a coach, it's just like a coach on a field, right? They're giving you the plays, they're helping you prepare to make the plays, and even telling you as you go what you're doing wrong, give you the right direction. They're not doing it per se for you. So really get clear about what it is that you need to move past Feenin to actually living.
So, but how do I get over the fear? I mean, the fear is there, and what do I do with that? Because if I look around the room, that's the big pink elephant that I'm saying is staring me in the face, is fear. And the crazy thing about it is nobody can see it. I'm thinking everybody sees it, but unfortunately no one else can see my fear, right? All the things that I consider fear, or the pink elephant, as I describe it, but me. So how do I get past or overcome this pink elephant? This is my own fears. These are the ones I embody. I have.
Right.
Whether it's insecurities from growing up or whatever it may be, right?
That's the thing. The biggest thing is people are afraid of what other people will think. And that keeps you from the state of unknowing, or the unknown rather. Typically when you are dreaming and you don't act, it's either lack of motivation, lack of knowledge, right? It could be a few other things, but I'm going to stick with those two.
Motivation / inspiration, maybe.
Right. See, I don't want to give them too.
Okay, we're going to keep it there.
Right,
We're going to keep it just right there.
We don't have all week to talk about it. So.
Right, we'll keep it right there.
So lack of motivation, you can lump all that, even though they're different, inspiration, transformation, all that. And then the lack of knowledge, right? So if you have the lack of knowledge, some people then in that state feel prideful or even afraid to be embarrassed by saying, I don't know. This is what I do or want to do. This is what I've been dreaming about. But I don't know how to go about doing this. I don't know the first thing about it. But if I say that I don't know, then people are going to look at me like... ... We create all kinds of stories, right?
Yeah, because it's like being called on in school to read this big paragraph out loud in front of the class, and some of the words you may or may not be able to properly pronounce, right? And so it may come back from other people are laughing and things of that nature. You take that further into life, into business as an adult, if we haven't overcome the mindset of the fear that we face in that situation. Yeah. Right? And that we just buried that one. Right? We're burying our fears. And that thing as much as you bury it, it's going to continue to grow and germinate and become bigger and bigger. Yeah. And just keep on throwing dirt on it. It's going to do that. Yeah. So how do we overcome it? Give me some.
Well, I wasn't done.
I'm sorry.
Quite done.
I told you. Woo! I'm pumped.
Oh my goodness. So I talked about the motivation, but the other thing, or I talked about the fear of the unknown, but I wanted to get on the motivation really quick. And the motivation piece is really key because it could mean from a mental perspective that you are just not where you need to be in order to take the action. You may be talking yourself out of it mentally, right? And then, of course, there's the physical piece of motivation. Like you just can't seem to pick that foot up and make the first step. But your mind has to change first and say to yourself, I can do this. I really want this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. And once your mind, which is the strongest muscle, right, makes that decision, it's easy to make that first step. And I guarantee if you have done your due diligence and it's really something that you've been dreaming about and you really want it, once you change your mind and you make that first step, you will be so excited to see what you realize after that first step that you're willing to continue to step and find what's next.
That's it. I like how you always talk about when taking this step is to really break it down to bite-sized pieces. You do a great job in your time management course on it, but really taking it down to just those small bite-sized pieces. And it may not be, your first step may not be taking a first step.
Yeah.
Your first step may be just opening your eyes and waking up from the dream that you're in. And then you should celebrate that, because I tell you one thing, if the eyes don't open to wake up from the dream, then the manifestation certainly will never come. So take that, just that simple.
Oh.
Open your eyes.
Listen, and sometimes you could open your eyes from that dream and say to yourself, wait a minute, this ain't what I thought. This is not what I thought that it would be. And you know what? By the way, I really don't even really want this. Like, I changed my mind. Can I fall back asleep and get a new dream?
Let me get a new dream.
So, yeah, that due diligence, right? That ability to really assess what it is that you're dreaming about and you're really wanting. And when you get stuck in the phase of just fiending for that dream, you get so engulfed in that imaginative state that we talked about earlier that you don't really realize what the reality of that really looks like for you. Like, you have this huge dream and you have no idea how much it costs to get there. And then you start to, as you just mentioned, open your eyes, do your research, look into the resources, and you're like, wait, I didn't know I had to take a college course or get certified or whatever it is that goes along with that thing. So doing so will give you a better line of sight into what you need to do, what that first step is, and you can better move past that fear because it's no longer the unknown. Now I'm clear about what I need to do.
That's it. Because that fear may be, again, going back to the buying a house situation, is if I buy a house, they can just come and take my house. You know, like, whoa, there's so much to that from someone just taking your house, right?
So much that could happen before.
Yes, so much that could happen before. But on the other side of that, it is not recognizing what it takes to manifest it. And it's, as you stated, it is educating yourself once you open your eyes to start to take those steps. And one of those steps is getting the information. It is to know that, hey, if I get this house, I'm going to have to water the grass because, yeah, that comes with home ownership if you're going to have a yard. Or I may have to get, I won't have the same maintenance, or I can just call the landlord as I would if I was renting. That those are things I will have to take on myself. So this is additional getting information on it. But once you get the information, it's there. Right? All the information is on the table, is there. And you've taken the action to do it. Keep that action going, because you're going to realize the more and more I understand, the more and more I know, the smaller the obstacle, the smaller that elephant really becomes, because we've been chopping it down bit by bit. And the smaller it actually is, and the easy it is for me to overcome.
That's good. So it's even like thinking about obtaining a degree. You say, I want the degree. You can even sign up for the classes. But if you never show up,
oh boy. Ooh.
If you never show up, you never take a test, never turn in a paper.
Money gone.
Wasted. Time too.
It's gone.
So the dream, I'm just saying,
has been deferred.
It has. It has. So we've been talking to you about fiending for the dreaming. We want you to progress past that dream, that imaginative state and into consistent action. And it really truly takes you to overcome your fears, to get motivated about what it is that you're dreaming about, and to have the confidence and willpower to know that you are worth whatever it is that you're dreaming, and have the courage to take the action.
Take that action. So I do want to clarify. I think we stated it earlier. But dreams, imagination, those things are very, very, very important and
vital, yes,
to the success that you may have.
That's where it starts.
It starts there, right? But it's equally important understanding and knowing and then taking action to manifest that.
Yeah.
It is everything, like it's everything with the internet, with everything that's available, so much resources that's there. Sometimes it's too much. But everything is there to bring it to life, to manifest it. But you have to just open your eyes. Take the first step and open your eyes. The first step before you take your step is open your eyes. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think that's why that whole vision board thing is so popular, right? Because you start thinking about what it is that you envision for your future. You put it in front of you so you're reminded of it often. But again, if you don't take the action, it's just going to be a board with some pretty pictures.
And pretty pictures, I've seen quite a few, and they are beautiful pictures. Beautiful. But, and again, that's very, very, very important and vital.
Yes.
But it's certainly important to act on it. And one thing to do, right? This is one thing that someone can certainly do. It's a simple tip that going beyond your dream, record yourself speaking out your dream or record yourself talking about your dream. And then as you face your fears or the thought of that fear or someone says something in opposition of your dream, play that recording back so that you can hear it and reaffirm it. Because oftentimes we have the dream, something happens in life. Maybe I wake up or maybe another thought comes into mind, fear, lack of motivation that counters that dream, that keeps it in a dormant state. There are some things you can do. And one, I just mentioned one, is to record yourself speaking about it with passion, vigor, and play it throughout the day so you can hear yourself. And hearing about your dream while you're in your awakened state should invoke you to take that next step.
So, this may be the first time we actually gave you some homework. So you got some work to do. So record yourself speaking those affirmations of this dream into, your thoughts and put it in a place where you can always replay it and listen back to it, even at the times of which you feel defeated and you lack motivation or you feel like you're afraid. Just replay that, and that should be that thing that keeps you going and keeps you on track towards achieving and moving past dreaming.
And if you want to take it further.
I am not going to close this out again.
Just one more time. But I really want to, because I want to stress that. And that's just something I know we typically give things away, and I want to make sure people can have and take these things and employ them. But recording yourself and then recording someone that you trust that inspires you to even speak or communicate your dream as well. Speaking in a sense where they're telling you, affirming you verbally. You're telling yourself. So now you have 2 points of affirmations that you can refer back to throughout, listen to, and again, that's going to continue to keep your vibes and vibrations high so that you can continue to move forward. I'm sorry, I had to interject that because the people, they typically want and need those extra little things to do. So you have to.
And wait, I got another thing.
And one more thing.
Yes. Hey guys, we are going to wrap this one up. If you are wanting to contact us, our email address is support@fortuneenterprise.com. It's IVTUNE enterprise.com. Please let us know what your ideas are for topics and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the past episodes that you've listened to, because I know this is not your first.
And it won't be your last.
And it won't be your last. I had to go high on that one. But you can also find us on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Damn Darn Dorseys.
One more time.
Damn Darn Dorseys. He was on time that time, y'all.
See that?
He got
See
a little
that?
rhythm at the
I'm
end.
getting better.
But yeah, please follow us. Reach out to us. Again, it's at Dem Darn Dorseys. It's DEM Darn Dorseys. With that, we are going to close this thing out, and we look forward to chatting with you again on the next episode of Date with the Dorseys.
Bye.
Bye.
Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorseys.